I've already prepared myself for a love-hate relationship with this thing. I just hope it's more love than hate, if you know what I mean. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for stopping in. If you saw the last 335i video that I did, the what's wrong with this 335i, you'll know that we are sparing no time. We are not waiting to get to work. And one of the first things I wanted to tackle was the front wheel bearings, and there's a reason. You can't stand that wah 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 noise on the highway. You need to change them out. It can affect gas mileage, it can affect how the car handles, it can affect all sorts of stuff. In addition to just being annoying. Let me show you. So kind of nice with the BMW, others can come different potentially, but kind of a whole complete wheel bearing hub assembly deal for BMW. This is the old one. This is the driver's side front. This is the one that was making all sorts of noise, so I wanted to get that one swapped out. This is what a new one looks like. So obviously much nicer. This one has seen better days. Best place, you can get them anywhere. You can get them all sorts of places, but a great source of parts is Rock Auto. It gives you kind of a range, you know, from some super, I don't want to say super high dollar, but you can get some of the nicer, higher dollar ones, or you can get some that are super cheap all the way down to like 15 or 20 bucks each or something like that. I did middle of the road for me personally. No need for the super high dollar ones at this point, but I didn't want to go super cheap and heavy either, so these are a nice option. I shut the fan off for a second because I want to kind of try to demonstrate this for you, because there's a very clear difference. So listen. Hear that? Doesn't sound like a whole lot here, but at 70, 80 miles an hour, that starts to get annoying. Now, listen to the new one. Almost silent. Beautiful. Let's get to it. So I certainly don't want to do, or my intention really isn't to do a bunch of how-to videos with these cars, because there's, you know, listen guys, I'm not the first guy to own a 335i on YouTube, so there's a ton of how-to videos on a bunch of this stuff. So I just might share some tips and tricks along the way, but also there might be instances where I'm doing something and I may ask for advice. So hopefully this is a mutually beneficial, you know, relationship that we're starting here. But yeah, see, look at these. These have seen better days. But anyway, the first thing I'll just point out that you want to do, you got to take out this little, see, I don't even know the names of these things. It's a, you know, kind of a retainer bolt. Then there's two, geez, there's no light. There's two bolts, top and bottom, holding the caliper on. Get a piece of wire or a, you know, clothes hanger, turn it into a little hook, hang it from up here. You want this out of the way and not put stress on your brake lines. Just trying to show you here. There's one of the bolts, and then there's another directly below it, holding the caliper on. And then we'll take this guy out here with an Allen key, and then we'll be able to remove the rotor. Let me show you some of the tools. Might be helpful if you have some of these breaker bar, a couple ratchet wrenches, some extensions, 17 millimeter sockets. I think pretty much everything is 17 millimeter. Depending on the new setup that you get, mine came with 18 millimeter bolts. So you might need an 18 millimeter socket, but some swivels are helpful because at least one of those bolts is a pain to get to. But that's really about it. A mallet, because your rotor might be stuck, and just tapping on the bottom and top of it is enough to loosen it up. A little WD-40 goes a long way too. I just put some kind of there to try to get some separation. All right, let's go. Sorry guys, I lied to you. The brake caliper is held on by an 18 millimeter bolt, so you are going to need 18 millimeter sockets. Another good thing to have is some brake cleaner. Since you're in here, might as well clean the calipers and spray a bunch of shit off. So that's what we're doing too. So now there are 4 bolts holding this on to the back side. You can see this one here, this one here, and then one on each underside. Ooh, it's kind of gunky under there. It's pretty tight back there, so that's where some of the swivels come in handy. It's much easier if you turn the wheels. You know, turn it to the right to get to these, turn it to the left to get to those on this side. So that's what I do, and when I come back, I'll have this thing off. But there's 4 of them on the back side here, and a couple of them can be a little tough to get to, but it really isn't a bad job. A little cleanup, put the little retainer bolt in, and put the wheel back on. Lifesaver tool, caliper piston decompression tool, Amazon, link in the description. Pick one up, only 20 bucks. Save you a ton of headache. It's a good time to make sure your dust shield is not rubbing on your caliper at all. On the first one, I must have hit it with my arm or something on the underside, and had pushed it up to where when I put the rotor, it was rubbing, and I had already gotten the wheel on and everything. So when I was turning the wheel, I could hear it rubbing. So just make sure before you put the wheel on that your dust shield is not rubbing the rotor in any areas. Perfect. Time to put the wheel back on. Here we go. Not too bad of a job. Should only take you a couple hours, even if you are not the most mechanically inclined. And the wife cleaned up the wheels, and they're looking pretty sharp. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. I'll get to them as quickly as I possibly can. Thanks as always. See you in the next one.